Hey! How you guys doing? It's another wonderful day here in Canada, Western Canada. It is Thursday of all days, uh, and that means we're coming to you live. Thursday doesn't really mean that because I do this show on whatever days. I do it whenever I can. I'll drink to that. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Another episode of Merlo's Movie Massacre, episode number 40, coming at you. How the hell have I done 40 of these things already? I don't know. Who do we got in the chat? Who do we got in the chat? We have got Susie Lopez, always first in the chat. Pretty much always first in the chat. Christian Spencer, what's up, Steve? Hey, what's up, Christian? How are you doing? Hope all is well. The Drayton Sawyer, hey, Jared, how are you doing? Good to see you as well. Behind the Fiends, it's my buddy John Evans, who is not only one of our associate producers on the Sawyer Massacre, but he's also one of our business sponsors, Behind the Fiends podcast. Go check them out if you haven't. They're available on Apple Music, Spotify, all that wonderful podcast streaming platforms. Awesome stuff. I should be putting his links in the description now that he's a sponsor. I really should be. I'm going to have to do that from now on. Feel free to share your links if you want, though, John. And Kyle Curtis Flett's House of Horror, which, by the way, thank you for tuning in there, Kyle. I will be a guest on his show tomorrow night. He has his own channel. Go check it out. I'm going to be on his show tomorrow night talking about the Sawyer Massacre and other things. Maybe we'll see. It'll be a lot of fun. Go check out his YouTube channel. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe because these YouTube channels need your support. And if you want to see awesome horror content coming from all kinds of YouTube channels, not just mine. There's a lot out there. Go check them all out. Go check out Kyle's channel. Go check out House of the Living Dead. Go check out Matt Facci's Foch Monster Cinema, Filthy Dan, Jason Nike. I'm missing so many. Good Real Hunting. All my buddies, Stream Demons, James Grimm. There's so many. Braden Timmons. We all love to give you horror content. I focus mostly on Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I still give you all the other juicy stuff when I can. I do talk a lot Halloween on here as well. I do a lot of Halloween themed stuff, and that's fun too. Oh, John says, "Oh, stop! You're making me blush." No, it's true, man. What was I talking about again? Oh, man. It's been a long week, actually. It's actually been exactly 1 week since our campaign finished. It's not finished. I mean, it hit its goal a week ago, and it's still going because we hit our goal, and we're funding in demand. So you guys can still back the Sawyer Massacre if you can, if you want to. If you thought, oh boy, I couldn't quite make it this during the campaign, if I save up a few bucks, maybe I can get that screen used Leatherface mask I was really going for. Well, now you've got time. Unless somebody gets that mask before you. I've had 2 people inquiring about it. Just saying. 2 people have been inquiring about it, but nobody's got it yet. I'm surprised nobody got it. I thought for sure when you got 2 people kind of talking about it and asking me questions and blah, 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 usually one of them, you would think one of them would have gotten it by now, but not yet. It is expensive, though. It's an expensive perk. But it's there. As well as many other great perks. And if you've backed the campaign, you probably would have got an email from me today. I think I got everybody emailed today. Just to let you all know, we're definitely going to be letting the campaign go till the end of the year and probably into January. We could see it run all through January as well. We'll see. I don't want it to run too long before production starts because I like to have at least a month to really prepare everything. Obviously, I'm preparing stuff now, but I want a good month to make sure all the stuff that we need to pay for is being paid for, know exactly what my budget is going to be, and so on and so forth. So getting on to my shout outs, I think I figured it out last week. I couldn't do this, and I think I know why. I did not have StreamYard hooked up to the OBS virtual camera because I'm still using OBS for this stuff. So now I should be able to share Breathless Beauties. Can you all see that? I think you can all see it. It's showing up on my end anyways. So all her wonderful stuff. Check it out. And Miss 44. These are my two friends, Michelle and Michelle. Michelle A does horror themed dolls, and Michelle B does horror themed art or obscure art. I don't know what she wants to call it. I like it though. I like interesting stuff like this. It's definitely abstract. It's definitely unique. It's not the same old art you see. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I like to see stuff that's a little bit different when it comes to art. So yeah, that's great. That is great. We were even thinking of having that be a perk in the campaign. I'll let you guys even if you guys think that's a good perk idea to have your own artwork featured in our film. Something we're open to. I'm just not sure if a lot of artists would want to pay to have their art shown in a film. So it's something I'm a little bit on the fence about, but you guys let me know if you think that's a good perk. Could be cool, but again, you have to ship your artwork down and everything. It's it might be too big of a hassle. I don't know. We'll see. It's something I'm thinking about. I am always thinking about new perks I could add to the campaign. So yeah, I'm always open to that. I'm always open to suggestions. And yeah, there you go. Hey, lazy reviewers in as well. Hey, Carlos, how you doing? Glad you can make it. There you go. It's funny I bought a cow head. I don't normally buy cow things. I put it in my kitchen. Did you eat it too? Did you make head cheese? It could be good. It could be good. I don't know. I've had head cheese once and I did not care for it, actually. I did not care for it. Hey, Mark Decker is in the chat as well. Hey, Mark, how are you doing? I believe, if I'm not mistaken, when you told me that you are actually Toby Hooper's nephew, right? Was it nephew? It's been a while, man. I'm totally sorry if I'm getting that wrong. But let me know. Is it you're his nephew, I think? Let me know. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's all good. But thank you for joining in. Thank you for joining in. Thank you to Miss 44 and Breathless Beauties, Michelle and Michelle, for all your wonderful stuff as far as the awesome horror themed art. It is awesome. So go check out their links in the description. And I want to congratulate Carl Basilla. I don't think he's in the chat today. That's okay. But congratulate Carl Basilla for winning what we're calling round 1 of Chainsaw Trivia. We have changed it because the campaign is in demand now. We have changed it to that semifinal so that we can give away the chainsaw closer to the end of the campaign, probably near the end of the year sometime. And we're gonna just leave that perk open for you guys. So anybody who wants to compete in round 2, I mean, you can look at the questions that we had in round 1 and kind of get an idea of the kind of competition you're having. Maybe some of you would have watched last week's Chainsaw Trivia and thought, boy, those were easy questions. I would have smoked these fools. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Mark was saying my mom is his second cousin. Oh, so it's like, yeah, that's the hard stuff to figure out. So yeah, there we go. Something like that. I still can't believe Toby. I know that sucks. Hey, Angela Joseph is in the chat as well. Bravo, in demand. Let's make an epic horror movie. Yes, we will make an epic horror movie. Thank you so much, Angela. Angela was a big help in pushing us to get In Demand. She set up that whole live stream for us on the final day that turned out to be really, really good. So very, very happy that she did that. She's been our publicity coordinator. She's done a great job, and let's hope we can keep moving forward. And let's hit our next stretch goal, everybody. We're going to talk about that a little bit today. We're going to talk about some of the stuff that we are hoping to be able to do by hitting some of these campaign goals. And we're going to tell you some of the stuff that we're doing right now. As you may have seen, I have not been like posting like crazy over the last week or so. I apologize for that. Well, you guys might be sick of me doing that, by the way. Because I am doing other things. There are other things involved with the film. There's not just this film I'm working on, in fact, and we'll get to that in a later bit. But we're still actively looking for locations, still actively looking for the exterior of the house. And in case anybody is in Texas and wants to know exactly what we're looking for, I think I did put it in here. Yes. We are looking for a house that pretty much looks, and I mean pretty much looks exactly, maybe a subtle difference here and there, but we are really looking for this. This house that we've put on a few promos. This house does not exist in Texas. This exact house is actually in New Zealand. But this was I was really looking for something online. I put in, details of what I was looking for. Tall house, pretty much a square cube shaped house with kind of a flatter roof, which you see here. It's not totally flat, but it's flatter. So not like a very narrow kind of roof. And not nothing too crazy over the top as far as, nothing like, a lot of awnings and pillars and stuff. I don't want any of that. I want something very simplistic, but something that looks off, kind of like this. Now, I've doctored this photo a bit, just so you guys know. I've doctored it. I put the boards on the windows. That house is apparently it's not even abandoned. It just looks a little bit dilapidated. And it's really old. It's in 1800s, 1870s, or something like that. So, which is what we're looking for. The idea is this is Grandpa's house. We want to find Grandpa's house that he built himself when he was young. Or supposedly something like that. Maybe he didn't build it himself. We're not saying that that's what happened. That's an idea. But maybe he did. Maybe he did. And so we wanted that kind of style of house. Whereas the house in the original, I believe, was a 1920s house. And if you do the math, well, Grandpa would have been 70-ish when that house was built. So it doesn't feel right. Plus, I mean, this is a visual thing. I have a certain vision that I want, a visual aesthetic that I want for this house. And I hope you guys can see why I'm looking for that house. And we found some cool houses in Texas, but we haven't found that house yet. We haven't found that one. And if we hit some stretch goals, I've known some people that might be able to just make it happen, whether we find it or not. Like we can create it to a point again, within reason. And I think that would be so valuable if we could. So, I mean, if we hit if we hit our next stretch goal and maybe a little bit more, then we can put that in the budget to do that. I think it would be so beneficial if we could. Because, man, I don't know what you guys think, but to me, that house looks right for our film. I make a little promo like that. It just looks right for our film. A lot of people have commented about that house too. And I really hope that we can deliver that rather than something that's just looks good enough. I don't want to be able to say it looks good enough. Does that make sense to you guys? Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat about that. Drayton Sawyer, I saw a house like that in Cummings, Georgia. Well, that's not Texas though. If you found it in Texas, though, it was abandoned. That's good. It's been demolished now. Oh, so it doesn't matter anyways. None of that. None of that matters. Yes. Oh, yes. Behind the Fiends mentions that Maddie Cantone has been battling COVID. I'm so sorry to hear that. Maddie Cantone is one of our regular viewers on this show. She's been a great supporter of this channel and the film. So let's give her our best thoughts. That's why I haven't heard back from her. Obviously, I haven't heard back from her from a little bit. But she's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful person, and let's hope that she's doing better. Yes, because I'd like to see her back in the chat again. I'm sure she'll be okay, but you never know. This whole COVID thing, you never know. You never know. So yeah. Let's all wish our best to Mandy. Let's see what else you guys are saying here. Been demolished. I have Angela Joseph. I have a connection in the industry that can build it for you. Let's reach the stretch goals. Get Grandpa's house. I have a connection too, but it's about cost. At the end of the day, is how much is it going to cost? I have a meeting with this person. It was supposed to be next week, but I'm going camping. So I'm going to look at cost. I'm going to look at the cost. Obviously, he's not going to build the whole house. if he, and we're still searching for it too. We got to keep our options open. I got a lot of scouts in Texas right now, in the Austin area, that are just searching for a good place to film it. And I think even if we can't afford to build the house, we'll probably find a pretty good house. But man, again, I want that house. I want the house you pretty much see in that photo I gave you, and they don't seem to really exist. Hopefully you find one in Texas. Yeah, I hope we do too. But it might save us money. Depends. It depends. Actually, I mean, ultimately, it depends. It does ultimately depend. I've always managed to get locations for quite cheap. So a lot of times free. In fact, the majority of the locations I have shot at have been free, believe it or not. But location fees can be upwards of $1,000 a day. They can be that expensive, and if it's a Hollywood movie, man, they're going to get a lot more than that. We're talking indie films here, but yeah, they can cost up to $1,000 a day, and not that we'd necessarily have to pay that much. I'm good at finding locations for a reasonable price. It's all about making connections. Again, in my own hometown, it's not that hard, but in Texas, where I'm not really known, I've had to kind of meet a lot of people in the industry down there, and it's finally at that point where it looks like I'm probably going to be able to save on locations if we find the right ones. So that's good, but again, they can be expensive, and we don't have it in the budget at this time to spend $1,000 a day on locations. That'll be 14 grand right there if we're shooting for 14 days. So that's not happening. We're not paying that much for locations, that's for sure. But it's possible. Nothing is 100% for sure yet, but something tells me we'll probably raise enough that we could probably build that. We'll see. We'll see what the expense is. It sounds like I have a pretty good connection with this person. If not, Angela's got another connection. So then it's all about connections. It really is at the end of the day. And a lot of times the connections are just really wanting to be a part of your film. And so they'll do it cheap enough and do the work cheap enough that makes it possible. So anyways, there you go. What was I talking about? Yeah, so the locations. But I also wanted to just thank all of you guys for help getting us in demand. It was a lot of work. It was, we started out the first week to 2 weeks. We had a great start. I thought, okay, we're definitely getting in demand this time. And then it started to kind of slow down a little bit. Like, oh, well, I guess we're just having a rough patch, but it never really picked back up again. I was like, what's happening? I'm posting every day. I'm sharing like crazy. Maybe you guys are just sick of me sharing all the time. You guys let me know. Yeah, and you guys can let me know if I'm just tagging you in too many posts or sending you too many direct messages. Let me know, because I don't want to piss the hell out of anyone, but you got to let me know. Otherwise, you're going to keep getting them. You're going to keep getting invites to my live streams, and you're going to, all that wonderful stuff. Until you guys tell me to fuck off, I'm sticking around, and and you know what? Some people have told me to fuck off, and that's okay. But you guys have all stuck by me for the most part. Everybody in this stream right now, as far as I can see, has stuck by me through thick and thin when things didn't look so good. And geez, our first campaign we only raised 4K, about 4K anyways. It was around 4K. I think it was about 4K US. It was 4,700 Canadian, and I thought, can make something for that. I'm not going to Texas, that's for sure. Hey, I see Jamie Wiseman in the chat. Hey, Jamie. Jamie's another big supporter of us, and one of our associate producers. Somebody who pushed big time for our campaign. And thank you for tuning in, Jamie. It's so awesome to see you in here as well. I look forward to meeting you guys. I'll tell you that much. I look forward to meeting you guys in Texas in March, which, in case any of you didn't tune in last Friday, I said we're definitely shooting March, 100% now shooting March. Cause I don't want to, it's not that I couldn't make it work for October. It's that I don't want to rush to make October work and then turn out a piece of crap film for you guys. That's the long and short of it. Which I think that would happen if I tried to make October work. Now, had we had our very first Indiegogo campaign be more successful and hit the funds with that, we probably would have been able to make October work. But since I had to make three, I had to do 3 Indiegogo campaigns just to get to this point now where we've raised nearly 30K US, which isn't bad altogether. Altogether, but again, it's I don't want to. I want to make sure this film is right for you guys. Make sure that we're going to make the film that you guys deserve. I don't want to turn over a piece of crap for you guys that you guys are going to be like, I was part of that. So I hope you guys are okay with waiting a little longer on this film. Again, we've got time limits, obviously, because we are making March work no matter what. March is the definite time that we are going down to Texas and filming this thing. So if we find out that we can't build that house or even find that house, we're going to be satisfied with the best house we found. We found a couple already that'll work. That will work. But the house is only one key. I still actually have to recast a little bit too as well. Lost a couple of actors, which I have mentioned as well. So if any of you guys know any good young actors in Texas, I need them young. It's always the young ones I have to replace. It's always, as they're not quite as responsible, and they're the ones that always seem to drop out a little bit more. It's the younger ones, early 20s, late teens, those ones. It is what it is, though, right? New chatter here, Sabin Marketing and Promotions. Hey, how are you? I think you're new here. You want to market my film? You want to promote my film? You can, for free though. But thank you for tuning in, though. Yeah, always good to get new chatters. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button if you want to. You don't have to. Or you can hit the dislike button if you want to. You can. You can't. I don't mind, because it actually helps the algorithm. Where are those trolls we used to have? Has anybody seen the trolls? Oh, this is one of Angela's friends, Teresa. Nice to meet you, Teresa. It's always good to get a new person in the chat, though. No matter, yeah, that's great. That's awesome. That's awesome. What was I talking about again? I get off track so easily sometimes, especially in these random things. I will save some time at the end for some Q&A because I got some cool things I'm going to share with you a little bit. But like I said, we are recasting. That is something I have to spend a little bit of time on. I would like to take in auditions all the way till the end of September. And I probably will. I probably will take auditions all the way until the end of September. I want to see as many people as possible. We took it that seriously the first time we casted, and we're going to take it that seriously this time as well, because they need to be the right people to play the role. It's it is. I'll know. It's funny how you get a few people that audition and they think it's meant to be a certain way. You have all the details in the sides and everything, all the context, and they still play it a different way. It's a long, arduous process casting, but but you have to do it. I'm probably gonna go through a lot of poor auditions again. You got rid of the trolls, cooked them up in a famous Texas chili. Kidding. Yeah. Are you though? Are you Drayton? Are you Drayton? We had that Texas Oklahoma chili cook-off as one of the questions last week in the chainsaw trivia. You would have killed that one. You definitely would have got that one right. Probably. I don't know. That's pretty much your profile pic, though. So, yeah, winner of the Texas Oklahoma chili cook-off. Anyways, what was I talking about again? Yeah. So again, yes, actors. Also, the fact that we have 2 SAG actors attached to our film, and now I've got a lot of paperwork to try to make our film a SAG film, which I'm not even 100% sure that I'm going to be able to do at this point. So I might be recasting 4 roles instead of 2. God help me. No, I mean, if I have to do it, I have to do it. I don't want to lose my SAG actors because they're awesome. They're awesome. But it is a lot. It's a lot of work to do. I won't be able to. There's one thing guaranteed. If I was going to try to shoot this in October, I wouldn't be able to make it a SAG film. I would have to recast those roles. But I'm going to damn well try to make it a SAG film in time for March. But it's a lot. There's a lot of paperwork that goes into it. A lot of insurance needed that I wasn't aware of. I know you need to have insurance. Production insurance is inevitable. But how much you need and all that stuff comes with the SAG, and so it might be out of reach. We definitely have to raise more money. We'll just say that if we are going to make it a SAG film, but we do qualify for a SAG. But with the amount of characters and that we have in our film, we couldn't make it a SAG with what we've raised so far. But I'm going to keep going through the paperwork, and hopefully I won't have to recast those actors as well. I mean, I'm sure those roles will be easier to recast because I hope I hope you guys don't think that I'm picking on the younger people, but I find it easier to cast older people, like people older than myself. I find casting those roles, I might go through about 3 or 4, and it'd be like, great. I've got my, whereas the younger people, I'm going to see at least 20 to 30 auditions just for those 2 roles. Just for those 2, maybe more. Who knows? Again, I don't like looking at a million auditions. But it has to be done. It has to be done. And so it's amazing. It's amazing how many times I get super excited to see somebody audition because I loved their look. I love their look. This person got an awesome look. I'm going to cast this person. Their audition is going to be great. And they send me their audition and it's not good. you know, it's not all about the look. The look is important though, but if they can't act, uh, makes it tough. Makes it tough. But I'm okay to do it. I mean, the rest of the summer, I'm pretty much the rest of July and most of August. I'm not going to be stressing out too much. I'll take in some auditions, and I'm not going. It is a family season. I do have to spend time with my family. We're going camping next week. I'm excited for that. Take my little girl camping with her two aunties, or titas, they say in Filipino. They're Filipino, so yes. So that'll be exciting. But I am gonna start picking up the pace on posting again for the Sawyer Massacre, because I mean I do want to raise more money for it. Obviously, I like that we've raised as much as we have. I just would like to raise more. Hey, I see Christy's in the chat. Sorry I'm late. Hey, it's all good, Christy. I got to pay attention to the chat a little bit more. The latency isn't as bad as it was on just using OBS, so I like that. I would like to talk to you one-on-one about a few stuff, Steve. I will be making mine in a few years. Okay, let's talk. Let's talk. Well. Anyways, what was I talking about again? I'm reading your guys' chats, and now I'm getting off topic here. Yeah, so I will be picking up the pace as far as that goes. I am working on some other film stuff as well. In fact, my little treat, I mentioned that there'd be a bit of a surprise tonight for you guys. I'm going to save it for a little bit, but I have a surprise involving another film that I worked on that is finally getting finished. It's one of those films that it was in post production for longer than I would have liked. Filming it took nothing, but post production took longer. I'll talk about why in a bit, but let's continue to talk about this stuff. I want to talk to you guys about my networking experiences a little bit here through this whole process, because I definitely undervalued networking when I ran my first campaign. I didn't realize just how important it was to connect with people in the industry, not just in the industry, but the fans. You guys, the fans. I think I took that for granted, and I was connecting a lot on Instagram. I wasn't really doing anything on Facebook though, and I've learned my lesson. It's just one of those things that you have to keep doing. I made a lot of connections on Facebook now. It's amazing. I like that I've made as many connections on Facebook. I like a lot of the people I've met. Although I think I met Jamie on Instagram first. As the Slasher 15 production girl. I met you on Instagram first, but I met a lot of you guys on Instagram actually. It's weird how I met a lot of you guys on Instagram, but I meet a lot of other fans on Facebook that what's the word I'm looking for? They're very, I don't know. It's it's a hard to explain, that's for sure. But also on Facebook, I've met the negative people as well. Now, for the most part, 95% of the people I've come into contact with through networking have it's been a positive experience for the most part. Yeah, started on Instagram. There you go. For the most part. There have been a couple of experiences, though, that it is what it is. You might get I add somebody as a friend and I tag him in a post and like, don't tag me with this fan film crap or whatever. You get that once in a while. I had that a couple times. Actually, I didn't have it during this campaign, but last campaign, I think I got that a few times, a couple times at least, anyways, and that's fine. I just I removed them from my friends list. That's I have to, because you only got 5,000 friends you're allowed to have on Facebook. So it's like, remove the bad people, the people that aren't going to be there for you and actually network. and make room for the people that are going to mean something going forward. And that's what I feel like I've done. And you're always going to have some negative people. I want to talk about some of the negative, because not of all of them are really necessarily negative per se. Some of them I think are bad mindset, in my opinion. Um, for example, I was networking with this one guy. I'll leave him nameless. I'm not going to say names. But he was an actor. He's an actor, and he was very keen on what I was doing, and I was keen on what he was doing. He was sharing his links, and I was sharing my. That's how it works, right? We, we share each other's links, and we both want each other to see what we've done, and that's how networking should work, and that's great. But I think towards the end, after we had shared each other's links, I believe I had said to him, it would be great if you could share our Indiegogo campaign that's running right now. Uh, I think it was just at the beginning of this campaign. I think that is when this happened. We just started a new campaign, and I had mentioned that the campaign had just started, and it would be great if he could share it. Just share it, right? And he responds right back to me saying, "I can't do that, man. I really can't do that because I've just been cast in uh I'm just shooting in the middle of shooting a trailer for something exactly the same. Well, not exactly the same as what you're doing, but more or less the same. I mean, I could go back in the messenger and read it, but it was more or less that he said I couldn't do it because I'm going to be in a Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan film myself, and I'll have to share his Indiegogo campaign when it starts, and because I'm a part of that film rather than your film. So I mean, it was a situation where this guy had the mentality that we're in competition or something like that, and I don't understand that very well. I don't understand where we get that. At the end of the day, we're all indie filmmakers, and we're making indie films, and we're supposed to be here to support each other. It doesn't matter that I'm making a Texas Chainsaw Massacre film and he is too. At the end of the day, I even said to this guy, at the end of the day, I want to see more Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan films because there aren't enough out there. There's so many Halloween fan films and there's so many Friday the 13th fan films. Where are all the Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan films? I know it's not as big a franchise as those, but still. And I said to him too that the studios don't get this. It's indie filmmakers like us that are going to bring it back. Going to do right by this franchise, like Justin Sands did with the last Roundup Rolling Grill. The guy made that on a shoestring budget. He shot it on a Nikon camera, and it's the best Texas Chainsaw Massacre film that's on YouTube right now. I don't care what anybody says. That is the best one on YouTube right now. It was made for probably $2,000. Sure, it's not a full feature length. It's a 25-minute film or something like that. But you could tell this guy knows what he's doing. He knows the aesthetic. He knows what Texas Chainsaw Massacre needs to feel like. It's not perfect, mind you, but it's at this time, it's the best one online. And I support that guy 100%. And he has supported me with he even said, if I can, I would like to come down and help you. I'm in Texas, so I'll come down. And he lives in a different he lives a little bit more north in Texas, but it's that's awesome. He's been supportive, and that's the way it should be. Especially when we're doing these campaigns at different times. As far as I know, this guy, they haven't even started their campaign yet. As far as I know, I don't know. I haven't seen any other Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan films crowdfunding on Indiegogo, but even still, that doesn't matter. Do you think all these people making Friday the 13th fan films are feeling like they're a competition with each other? I mean, I don't understand that. I'd like to hear somebody like Jamie's thoughts on this a little bit, because she's been doing the same stuff that I've been doing with their awesome film that you guys are going into production soon too, by the way, for Go Away. That's Dave Kerr's film, Slasher 15. I think is the campaign still going, Jamie? Let me know, Jamie, if the campaign is still going or not, because it's looking great. I saw the poster; it looks awesome. You guys are gonna want to check that film out. But yeah, I mean, it's that kind of stuff. Just it kind of bugs me. I just really wish that some people in the indie making community weren't really like that, where it's like some sort of competition. It's not a competition. And I also told this person too, I will share the hell out of your campaign I will do it. I have volunteered to share on camp to share other campaigns many times, especially in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre world. That was another person that just kind of shut me out, and whatever, that's okay. I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to say who that is. Jamie says yes, it's still going, which is good. Go check out Go Away on Indiegogo. They're in demand. You guys have been in demand for a while now. That's great. I look forward to, but you guys are going into production pretty soon, if I'm not mistaken, right? September or October, I think. Let me know. I'm curious. You don't have to tell me, but I think you guys had posted about it. Very excited for that though. It's going to be an awesome film. Definitely going to be an awesome film. They're all about supporting each other. We don't see it. It's not a competition. So I really wish I wouldn't run into people like with that. I wish I could make them think differently, but and when I message that person back, they never said anything ever since. So I don't know. I think that shows a little bit of it's a bit amateur. I guess that's the best way I can put it. It's a bit amateur that you need to surround yourself with people like me and people like Jamie, and because these are the people that are going to support you. And just to say no, I'm not sharing your stuff because I'm doing my own thing is, I don't know. Again, not everybody's like that. There's one person, but I mean, I thought about it. I thought about that the other day, and it kind of bugged me. I just I thought about that. I reread that message. Actually, I reread his message, and I thought, wow, it's fascinating that this person thinks like that. It's fascinating. Mike Glenn, you're doing amazing work, Steve. We are filming from August to October. Oh, were you part of Go Away as well, Mike Glenn? I think you've been on my channel before, but yeah. Bloody Summer Camp. Oh yeah, okay. You did Bloody Summer Camp. That's awesome. That's awesome. There's so many great films out there that are so many great people I've been networking with that are crowdfunding on Indiegogo. Another one I wanted to talk about real quick. I think I pretty much got out my my frustration with that. I think that's kind of frustrating, but again, I network with a lot of people, and the vast majority, I would say about 95% of people that are excited for what we've been doing, and are more than willing to help out. Too many to name, really. I mean, I can name Jamie because she's in the chat. I can name all you guys in the chat because you guys have all been supportive and really awesome. I'm saying Jamie right now because she's like me. She's an indie filmmaker. Doing most of you guys are fans like Drayton and Christian, and that's awesome. But like Jamie and I are doing Indiegogos at the same time. We still are actually. There you go, because we're both in demand. And I feel no competition with Jamie. It's odd though that I find it kind of odd, and I kind of found it fascinating at the same time. Like why certain people think that way. I don't know. Oh, it's Michael McGlenn. That's Mike. I saw Mike Glenn. I'm like, oh. Michael is Jamie's. Are you guys married? I don't know if you guys are significant other. I feel stupid now for not putting that together. Michael McGlynn, Michael McGlynn. Interesting. I don't know. I get thrown off too easily. Oh man. How are you doing, Mike? Michael is another great guy. But but you guys have had some negative experiences in this world, in this indie film world as well. And it's and so I can kind of relate with you guys, and I guess that's okay. You guys are married. I wasn't sure. I wasn't 100% different last names, but my wife has a different last name than me as well. So I don't like to just make that assumption that you guys are married, because there's a chance that you might not be. Hey, and there's John Tague. Hey, John, how you doing? John Tague, who's cast to play Drayton in our film, is saying, "Sup, Steve? Hey, sup, John? Keep sharing the campaign if you can. I don't even know if I told you that our campaign went in demand, so keep sharing. That way we can pay you." The more money we raise, the more we can pay our actors. That's which is important to me. It is important to me. So right now, with what we've raised, it's like they're all getting scale. I don't really like that, but I mean, a lot of them. I'm glad that a lot of them were deferring their pay for associate producer. I'm glad that I don't have to do that anymore. I just don't feel good about it. And that's nice that they're deferring their. It's so great that they're that behind the project that they would do that. But these are working actors, so that I'm like, I don't want them to do that. But yeah, John Tague is a fantastic actor. He's been in so many things, too many to list, really. But he's been in Lucifer, American Horror Story. The list. He's been in so many things. Go check out his IMDb. Excuse me, heartburn, a little bit of acid reflux there. But yeah, he's a fantastic actor. So if you don't know who John Tague is, look him up on IMDb. Look him up. He's done a few pretty big things, and he is cast to play Drayton in our film. And I think he's going to make a fantastic younger version of Drayton, because this does take place 8 years before the original, so he will be a bit younger, you know. But thanks for dropping by and saying hi, John. I really appreciate that. It's very nice of you. And just so you guys know, if you guys want to donate to the campaign, the link is in the description. Shameless plug, I know. I haven't been plugging it much over the last week, though, because of all the other stuff I'm doing, which I think I should probably get to at this point, because, I don't want to yabber on about all the networking and stuff for too long. And it's we're already 10 to 8. And you guys have had enough of me jabbering on. And I want to leave a little bit of time for you guys to have some questions for me, if you guys want. And I see Rob Bruins Guy Mahoney in the chat as well. Thank you for tuning in, man. Getting a lot of you guys in the chat today. That's great. It's great to see a lot of people like John Tague stop by, and Jamie and Mike from Slasher 15 Productions drop by as well. It's awesome, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is just kind of a little bit of a random chat. I made some notes on things I want to talk about, but just to kind of let you guys know what we're doing going forward, and what's happening right now. But outside of the Sawyer Massacre, I made a bit of a commitment, because it took a long time for the cut for this. I wanted to actually have this film done complete before I even started our Indiegogo campaigns for the Sawyer Massacre, but the editor was going through a bunch of stuff, and understandable. So, I mean, we just couldn't get a cut of this film. It's just a short film, guys. It's a short psychological type of horror film. Just a 10-minute film that we made on a budget of just under $300 Canadian. So that's like 200 US. Really, really cheap. But it's actually, I think there's something good there. So we're finally at the point. He basically had the cut ready for me. The cut was done right before we started our second Indiegogo campaign for the Sawyer Massacre. And it was my job to basically do all the audio, to edit the audio, mix the audio, and add the score to it. But it was right before the second Indiegogo campaign. Once that started, I'm like, oh, I have to, push this. If we get in demand, then I'll just take a good couple weeks to polish that audio up and blah blah blah, and we'll get it out there. But we didn't go in demand that campaign. We did pretty well, but I knew as I had to get another campaign going pretty quick. So then we got this campaign. This campaign did go in demand. Even if it didn't go in demand, I was going to at least focus for a week or so, a couple weeks to get the audio for this film finally done so I can get it released. And we're now even thinking it's possible we could enter it into some festivals. I don't know. I'm not 100% satisfied with the way the audio sounds. Maybe I have to do some ADR, but I hate doing ADR. Any of you other filmmakers out here hate doing ADR as much as I do? I hate doing ADR. I'll just say that. But we might not have to. I don't know. It was made for $300. It's made for $300. And overall, I mean, I can look at this and say, wow, we did that for $300. Not bad. So the film is the film is picture lock. It's picture lock. We like the way all the show. It's picture lock. It's color graded and everything. And the audio is about, I want to say it's about 90%. And the score, I want to spend a little more time on the score. I would say it's about 60%. So it's pretty close now. I spent time this week working on it. There's definitely a couple problematic areas that I had to kind of really go through. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Dave Kerr, anybody who works in post-production probably hates ADR, unless that's your specialty and you just love it. I would hate it. I just I did ADR for the one feature film I did, and I was very inexperienced doing this film. We didn't have a proper audio setup. We had a $10,000 budget for a 2-hour film. And you know what? Sometimes that's an okay budget, guys. Just so you guys know, sometimes $10K for a 2-hour film can be okay. Sometimes, depending on how many locations you got, how many actors, how big is your crew, all that kind of stuff. There are factors. How much takes place outdoors, indoors, blah blah blah. All that stuff can have a factor. But our film had about 25 locations, maybe more. We had a cast of about 30. It was very ambitious for 10K. Like even the Sawyer Massacre, it's more ambitious than the Sawyer Massacre is, really. But we didn't have good audio. Did not have good audio. So I ADR'd the whole thing, and I didn't know what I was doing for ADR, and even after doing the ADR, it's still not very good. Anyways, getting off of that, hey, it's lessons learned. If you want to be a filmmaker, you got to learn these lessons the hard way sometimes, like I did. I learned these lessons the hard way. And if you can learn these lessons and not quit, then you are truly meant for this business. Because there was times I was doing post-production and this film, we still haven't released it. There was times I was sitting in hours and hours post-production, and we still don't have the damn film released because audio is just no good. I don't know. Part of me is like, should I just release it anyways? It's not even a horror film, so you guys probably won't like it. Not even a horror film. Should I just release it? Because why not? Why not? One day I'll just release it. Not right now. Because I won't release it right now because it might deter any potential backers from the Sawyer Massacre. All of a sudden, I'll get a bunch of refunds from the campaign. I don't know, but it's lessons learned. It's we all go through mistakes. I never went to film school or anything either. That's another thing. I mean, it probably would have helped, but it's expensive. It's too expensive. I could never afford it. If I was rich, maybe. But I'm not. I'm really a pretty humble guy, and I'm going to put every penny I have into, making sure that we have enough money to film the Sawyer Massacre. which isn't a lot because I just don't have a lot. I really don't. I really don't. I'm just a passionate guy, guys. But yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of hours post production on that film, and it's still not seeing the light of day. So I mean, when you can go through something like that and actually still want to keep making films, that's the sign of somebody who's passionate enough about doing it. I think. I hope that's where I hope my passion shows in that regards. So as long as you're always getting better, and I think I always got better. And this film is called Disorder. It's kind of a take on mental illness. I've had my share of experiences with mental illness. Not myself personally. I mean, although I am, maybe I could be diagnosed with something. Who knows? I was just diagnosed as ADD when I was younger, whatever that means, and OCD. I'm ADD and OCD to an extent. Not like severe case, but mild case of both, I think. But anyways, as a take on mental illness, I've experienced a lot. We'll just say that with different people with mental disorders, and my wife is a pharmacist too, so she deals with it a lot. So it was something kind of close to home that I wanted to make sure that I could do. It's a pretty simple story at the most part, but it's almost done finally. It's almost done. Like I said, picture is locked. Audio is about 90% and music is about 60% at this time. And we have a little teaser. We've got a little teaser. I just kind of cut it together a little bit this week. And I think it's I'm going to share it for you guys for the first time. You guys can let me know what you guys think of this film, of this teaser. You guys aren't going to get a lot from the teaser. It's only about 40 seconds. So, but yeah, this is my little surprise for you guys. So without further ado, here is the teaser for Disorder.
I'm done. It's that idiot, Randy. I go to his house, right, to try and get him to take his pills. And he, totally lost it on me. He started swinging at me. He's getting violent. He hurt my wrist.
He's schizophrenic, right?
I really don't know how you do it sometimes.
Okay, so that is the teaser I did for Disorder. I hope you guys would be interested in that film. It's just 10 minutes. I'm not sure if we're going to put it into festivals or not. I'm going to definitely get advice from people whether it's festival ready or not. Like I said, I'm not 100% satisfied with the way the audio came out. But it's I hope it's I think there's an interesting story, and it could possibly do okay in some festivals. We'll see but we'll see. All right, so that's Disorder. It's just a 10-minute short. I think that's probably going to be my last short film, because my writing style is really not meant for shorts. It's probably, if there was one script I thought that I probably got right as far as a short film goes, it was probably that one, because it was simple enough. That's what it really takes to write short films, like, that 10-minute type of short film is simplicity. Simplicity. Keep it simple. Don't try to get too into a ton of character development and plot twists, and just do something simple. And most of my, like, Unseen, I have to make a feature out of Unseen. If you guys haven't seen the short version of Unseen, it is on my YouTube channel. It's 12 minutes. The original cut of that was even long. It was about 16 to 17 minutes. Part of me is like wishing we left it at that cut. But we kept shortening it. With the editor kept shortening it because there was a festival we were trying to get into that it had to be under 12 minutes or something like that. So whatever, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, I'm hopefully gonna make the feature length version of Unseen after the Sawyer Massacre. That's going to be that's my next goal, because the script for Unseen, I think it's pretty much ready to go. I think there might be a couple minor things I might want to change in the script, but it's pretty much ready to go. I need to focus more on making feature length films. Not I have nothing against short films, but I think Disorder will be my last one. I think so. I could be wrong. You never know. Never say never, right? So, what did you guys all think of that? Does that look like a movie a movie you would see, a short film you would see? It's short, I know. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Let's see if any of you guys like that or not. If you guys hated, if you guys hated it, if you thought it looked stupid, that's okay. I'll talk about the actors in a bit too. Let's go back here. Attention deficit disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder. Yeah, I know. I was just kidding, Rob. It looks good. It looks good. In my case, it drives me nuts that I don't have all the movies in a series. Oh. For me, it's only the good ones. Christian Spencer, I like it. Rob Bruin, Rob Mahoney says, looks great. Really? John Evans says, I struggle with ADHD and also have really bad social anxiety disorder. Oh, really? I know a really weird for a guy that does a podcast, but the podcast has been a blessing. I kind of feel that to a point with me doing this show, John. This show has definitely really helped me get a lot of stuff out that I was having trouble getting out before. Being a little bit introverted, I've always been a little bit introverted, and I needed some sort of way to get some of this. There's a lot of stuff I feel like I need to get out, movie related, because I'm such a passionate guy about movies, and hopefully after camping next week, I'm going to get back to that movie chat, and that'll be live too. I think I got to keep my shows live, because I just I benefit more from the discussion with you guys live. Anyways, I like it. Looks good. Thanks, guys. Thank you, guys. I want to see Massacre Academy film. I've heard of it. I haven't seen any teasers or anything for it. So, have to head out. Have a great night. Oh, thank you for coming by, Jamie and Michael. You guys have yourselves a good night, and thank you guys for tuning in. It's great having you in the chat, and hopefully I'll be able to have more guests on the show pretty soon. Maybe even next week. I was looking at my schedule for next week. I might be able to have a guest on next week. So there you go. So, thanks, John. Look good, man. Not bad for a $300 film. At the end of the day, yes, there are some audio issues that I'm not particularly happy with, and there's only so much I can do in post. There's only that term, fix it in post. You can't fix everything in post, people. You can't. I remember what we did for audio. We rigged together. Somebody had a certain type of mic that was okay. We rigged it together. I think with this very mic stand that I'm using right now, we rigged this mic into a boom, and it worked pretty good for the most part. About 80% of the audio is okay. There's about that 20% that's like, should I ADR it? It's going to be a pain in the ass. Some of those actors have moved away and stuff. It was a couple years ago. It really was. It was like 2 years ago that we filmed that, and because the editor just was going through a lot of stuff and had a big financial debt thing going on, we didn't get it done till recently. But that's the way she goes. That's what you do when you can't afford to pay an editor. When you don't have money for post-production, that's what you can expect. So it's gonna take a little longer than you want, but it's more or less ready now. I think it's a cool little story, a little bit of a twist at the end. Again, my writing style is more for features though, so I think I feel like that was the best I could do for a short. it was. I don't know how people write 5-minute shorts. Like the 5-minute ones for those 48-hour film challenges and whatnot. As I've been a part of those, and I've been like script consultant on some of them, and even helped with writing scripts on some of them. And I'm like, this is not going to be 5 minutes. I can tell. I can tell it's not going to be 5. Oh, it's only 5 pages long. So you look at what you've gotten there. I know it's a rule of thumb that 1 page equals 1 minute of film, but not necessarily. And I was saying it even while we were filming. You have these long shots of people just getting into a car or something like that. That took 48 seconds, by the way. You're gonna have a heck of a time cutting that down to 5 minutes, and I don't know. I think I'm done with those film challenges too. I like them to a point, but they're also very stressful. I never get any sleep doing them, so I haven't done one for a while though, which I'm kind of happy about. But yeah, all those actors were one of them. I think our lead actress had been in a few things in a few Vancouver productions, but and most of them were up and coming type of actresses. One of the girls is actually a stunt performer more than anything else, which I like though. I like that she, yeah. Anyways, yeah, we'll leave it at that. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I did want to touch on. I have a couple more things I want to touch on. Actually, couple more things I want to touch on before we. It's only 8:08. We got time. We've only been on for a little over an hour, so it's not that bad. But if you guys do have any questions about that movie, about when we're gonna release it and all that kind of stuff, as far as when we are gonna release it, I have to talk to the rest of the people involved with that on whether it's festival worthy or not. Again, with the audio issues, maybe not. Hard to say. I mean, the short version of Unseen had a bit of audio issues too. It still did okay in the festival. We won a few awards. I think we could have won more if I think we could have won more if the story was easier to comprehend in a short film, where it was really tough for a lot of people to put the dots together, connect everything. Whereas this one I think is easier. I think that this one is definitely much simpler. So story-wise, I think it's worthy. It's just whether our cheap audio rig that we had for this, for the most part, it doesn't sound bad though. And we had people that more or less knew how to use it, so that's good. But I wanted to touch a little bit. There hasn't been any real major Texas Chainsaw Massacre news coming out as far as the new film, other than one little thing. And this actually came out a couple weeks ago now. I haven't really touched on it. I was planning on touching on it when we knew a little bit more about like a release date and a trailer and all this kind of stuff, which was supposedly going to happen in July, but it probably won't now. I have a source that tells me that things are changing. Yeah. I will talk about that a little bit too. But one interesting thing I've noticed on IMDb, script was written by a guy by the name of Chris Thomas Devlin for the new film, and it was credited like that for a while, written by Chris Thomas Devlin. It's been changed on IMDb over the last couple weeks, and actually he's still the screenwriter, but it's got story by Fede Alvarez and some other guy. I'm sure he's somebody, but I don't know who he is. Probably Fede Alvarez's partner in writing movies. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows who he is? But at the end of the day, I don't know who he is, but we know Fede Alvarez, right? So that's interesting. It is kind of interesting that they've put that now, that they've given Fede Alvarez a writing credit for the story, which he may very well have written the story, co-written the story, that is. Done a treatment with this other guy, and then send it to the studio, and the studio got this guy to write it, this guy to do the screenplay for it. It's definitely possible that is the kind of thing that happened. I just find it very interesting that this has come out now, after we've heard bad things about the movie. Usually somebody like Fede Alvarez would want his name attached as far as a writer goes if the movie had had positive test screenings and everybody was saying all nice things about it, but it's almost like he's owning up to a piece of crap. And that, hey, it's if that really is the case, good on you, Fede, for owning up to it. If it was just a mistake, or maybe they're still confident that this movie will be good. It might be good. You never know, but I mean, the test screenings are pretty negative. And, from what I've seen, Fede Alvarez has been more of a PR guy than anything else as far as this film goes. He's the one going on the talk shows and whatnot, talking about the film and reporting to Bloody Disgusting and all that kind of stuff, which is great. And he's saying all the positive. He's saying all the things you want to hear. It's filmed on film. It's or whatever. Using practical effects. All the stuff you do want to hear. But obviously leaving some gaps as far as story goes. And if you've seen Mr. H reviews, I don't know. I'd be surprised if somebody made that up. But it makes me wonder, though, if they are planning. It makes me wonder if they're planning to reshoot the whole thing. Because you just don't see something like that. You don't see somebody like Fede Alvarez take ownership on a piece of crap. If it really is the turd that it sounded like, they save those types of things typically for whether the film is received well or not. And then, once the movie has been received well, okay, now we can add the big Hollywood hotshot to he really wrote this movie, and whether they actually wrote it or not, so I mean, it's interesting. It almost makes me wonder if they either really think it is good, and they're ignoring the test screenings, or they're going to reshoot the whole movie, and Fede's going to do it properly, and I don't know. It's very interesting. I don't know if did any of you guys actually notice that? I don't know. They probably paid Fede. Yeah, I mean, Fede's really just been a PR guy more than anything else as far as him being a producer. I don't know who David Blue Garcia is. I didn't even really know who the Toe Hills were. I'd heard of them before. And the fact that they got canned a week into production was weird. Or who knows? You know what could happen here, guys? You just never know. The Toe Hills shot a week's worth of footage, I believe. A week's worth of footage. Maybe they didn't throw out that footage. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. I would hope that they wouldn't. I would think that you actually wouldn't throw that footage out, because you just never know. You just never know. And what if they did some test screenings with some of that footage as well, and it tested better, and maybe now Fede's taken over the reins and maybe even gonna do reshoots with the Toe Hills and complete that film. It's bizarre. It's a little out there. I'm not going to deny that it's total speculation. It's not, and I'm not even really speculating. I'm just saying this is a possibility at this point. We don't really know. It's just so odd that that Fede Alvarez was willing to put his name on IMDb as having written the film after it received all the negative feedback. Unless of course whoever is doing their IMDb is really fucking it up, which could be the case, because we know that they have fucked up quite a bit already on that on it. I don't know who's doing their IMDb, but it went from Alice Krieg was Sally Hardesty, and Owen Fear was was Mother Sawyer originally, and then they were both Sally Hardesty, and then Alice Krieg was taken off as Sally Hardesty, and no sign of Mother Sawyer yet, but we can pretty much assume that Alice Krieg is playing Mother Sawyer. I would be shocked if she wasn't. And hearing the story and everything, the whole plot of the movie that was shared on IMDb, or sorry, Mr. H's reviews on Mr. H's show. I think it's fair to say she's playing Mother Sawyer. And now there's two people cast as Melody, I believe, on IMDb. So who knows if maybe there really are two Melodies in the movie. But yeah, it's kind of weird. That's kind of weird. Angela Joseph, I am an IMDb editor for the past 12 years. Okay. So maybe you can supply some insight on how their IMDb is actually being run. Like, who's actually updating their IMDb? Who is doing that? That's what I'm wondering about. I just who is actually making those updates, and does the studio have somebody that just does that? Or I mean, I obviously update my own IMDb and have been updating the Sawyer Massacre IMDb, but anyone can do that. Yeah, okay, if they know how. Interesting. It's definitely interesting. The IMDb info has is definitely been interesting. It's been one of the weirder things going on with this film. But I see they can correct it if it's put up there falsely, which they obviously did. But it's I wonder who was doing those poor updates then. Because obviously there were some mess ups on IMDb. Not that many people noticed. I think I was the only person actually talking about it at the time. As far as I know, I was the only one talking about it at the time when Alice Krieg was originally announced as Sally Hardesty. I did a whole. I don't remember if I did a whole video talking about that, but I did a video talking about it. And a lot of you guys were like, "Oh yeah, I love Alice Krieg. She'll make a great Sally Hardesty or whatever, something along those lines." Which she is a great actress. I love Alice Krieg. She's the only person in this film that I actually care about. As far as I don't think I've seen really anybody else in this movie. I did watch a little bit of the guy playing Leatherface. I watched his reel. He looks pretty good, but is he Leatherface? Hard to say. But it's weird that the IMDb is that way. Now, who would have updated the writing credits? Who would have updated Fede Alvarez having now written the story for this? I don't know. Would some random person do that, or would somebody involved in the production, or somebody who is in charge of their IMDb page actually do that? I don't know. It's interesting. It's fascinating. I'm very curious to know what's going to happen with this movie. Hopefully we get a release date soon. But at this point, I'm willing to bet it's not coming out this year. I'll be shocked. I'll actually be shocked if they announce that it is still coming out this year. I'll be shocked. I mean, I won't be totally shocked, but I'll be a little bit shocked. But maybe it will, maybe it won't. We're just gonna wait for the news. No teaser, no teaser trailer yet, no release date. We're more than halfway through the year. To me, I don't know. To me, it doesn't make sense to release it that late in the year, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it sold or there was a dispute. We don't. Maybe it's going to be shelved for a long time. Who knows? They're probably having a hard time figuring out what to do with the movie because it had such poor test screenings. It had really, really poor test screenings, which sucks, but it is what it is. And they don't know whether they want to spend money on reshoots or just. I was thinking they were just going to probably not spend money on reshoots and just hope for the best, cut their losses, release it in January, where same place they released Texas Chainsaw 3D, so they can probably recoup some of their losses. I mean, obviously, Leatherface that came out in 2017, that was a loss. I don't even think that movie broke $1 million. And I guarantee that movie was made for more than $1 million. I guarantee it. Might not have had a big distribution marketing campaign, but it was definitely a loss. Yeah, that's what else can I say about it though, guys? I mean, let me know your thoughts. I bet they'll dump it in January. That was definitely I'm still leaning towards that, Jared, but man, seeing this news makes me wonder if they're going to try to fix it. Seeing, Fede Alvarez, own up to it, right? Unless it's a mistake. Again, it could be a massive mistake, but they haven't taken it down yet, though. Maybe nobody's noticed. I don't know. I would be on something like that. If I got my name attached to a screenplay that I would think Fede Alvarez would be like, hey, get my name off this shit film, if he really, I would think he would see that. I would think he pays attention to his own IMDb, because now he's credited as a screenwriter, or not screenwriter, story writer for this movie. I don't know. It's interesting. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Hopefully I'll be doing a show where we talk about the release and the trailer and all that kind of wonderful stuff. When I wanted to do a trailer reaction to Halloween Kills trailer, we all know what happened there. I just couldn't feasibly do one at that time. I knew when it was going to release, and I was all ready to do a trailer reaction. Of course, the stupid leak happened. So, but hopefully I'll know when the trailer is coming out for this, and I can do a proper trailer reaction to it. We'll see. We'll just have to see what happens, right? Also, just wanted to give a shout out to, before I go, if you guys do have any questions in the comments for me about anything, I'll read them in a bit. But I want to give a shout out to my good friend Michael, who's making a Halloween fan film called Halloween Evil Lives. They've got their second Indiegogo campaign up right now. I'm looking to hopefully get him as a guest on the show at some point, so we can talk about the film a little bit and why he's so passionate about it. I think it's a very interesting story. So I hope I can get him on my show. Maybe next one. Maybe it's possible I could get him on next week. We'll see. Here's 50,000. Say it's good. Yeah, I mean, we'll talk. I'm just giving a shout out to Michael. But yeah, go check out his Indiegogo. Go check out Halloween Evil Lives on Indiegogo. They got some cool perks on there as well. And again, hopefully I can have him on the show as well. His links are in the description, as well as the links for Valentine Bluffs Indiegogo campaign. I've been networking like crazy with Tom and Roland and Chuck. All awesome guys, man. I love those guys. They are so awesome. I'm so great. I'm so grateful to have met them. I'm so happy for them that they have been hitting their goals, all their stretch goals now. I don't know if they've hit all of their stretch goals. I think they got one more to hit or something like that, but they are hitting them. They're killing it. They're absolutely killing it. And it's a My Bloody Valentine's fan film, so it just goes to show you don't have to be a Friday the 13th fan film to do well. But yeah, I've got those links in my description. Yeah, I mean, let's talk about what Drayton's saying here. I bet more than 50 grand. I don't know. Maybe you're right. And he's done that. He was doing that where he just says it's good, but to put your name on the story, on the movie, as far as a writer goes, I don't know if he would want to do that if he knows it's going to be crap. Maybe he really stands by it. I don't know. I haven't seen enough of his work. I've seen Don't Breathe, and I was kind of, I'll be honest. So I don't think I liked it as much as most people did. I thought it was another movie that had a lot of potential. That there was a few things that it was like, this would have made it better. This would have made it better. This would have made it better. But for the most part, most people liked it. I don't know. I was okay with it. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's probably about a 6 out of 10 for me if I was giving it a rating off the top of my head, which is okay. It was an okay film. I haven't seen his Evil Dead remake. I haven't seen anything else he's done, so I don't really have enough to know whether he's a really good writer or not. Good director versus a good writer, it's two totally different things. You could be a good director but a terrible writer, and a terrible writer and a good director, or sorry, you know what I'm saying. I'm getting all mixed up now. Hey, Santi came in a little late, but that's okay. That's okay. We're near the end, but that's okay. What was I going with that? But anyways, I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know whether he would do that unless he really believed in it, or if they made a conscious decision to change it. I wouldn't be surprised if they looked at the Toe Hills footage, they looked at what they had, and it gave Fede Alvarez ideas to just change everything, to change things around. It's possible. It's possible that what the Toe Hills had was actually good. I'm hoping for that. I'm hoping for that. Really hoping. This is what I'm actually hoping. I'm probably wrong. Folks. I'm hoping that Fede Alvarez looked at the Toe Hills footage, and there was a week's worth of footage. There is probably a quarter of the film was shot, and it gave him ideas that he was confident enough that he could fix it. Man, I'm really hoping. God, I'm hoping that that's the case. I doubt it, but but there's that chance. I just think it's so weird that he would put his name on the film after these negative test screenings. And the fact that we, a few weeks ago, I was hearing that we're going to find out. We're going to find out the release date in July. Release date and knowing the trailer's dropping in July. And we still don't have it. So I was figuring then for sure they're just going to dump it in January. Wouldn't it be awesome though if Fede Alvarez intervened and said, "No, don't do it. Let's push it. And let me finish this film. Let me finish the Toe Hills film, and it won't be a giant turd. It will actually be a good film." And I'm hoping for that. Again, I don't know whether I can trust Fede Alvarez to do that or not, because again, I just don't know enough about him. I've seen Don't Breathe. Has he done any other films other than the Evil Dead remake that I still haven't seen that I should look at? Suggest films to me. Suggest Fede Alvarez films other than Evil Dead in the chat if you can, because I actually want to see if I think this guy can really do it. Yeah, July is just about over. We're supposed to find out in July, and it's just about over. And the source I had, and again, I don't know if this source is reliable or not. It's just his word. And that's, it's not a reputable source. So he, as far as I know, this person could be feeding me lies and whatever, but he was the one that told me this source told me that we're going to find out in July. And he recently told me that the producer told him that things could change. And that it wasn't Fede Alvarez that told him, it was some other producer. Things could change. So that could mean a lot of things. Things could change. Interesting. Weird stuff, man. I don't know. I'm really, really hoping for the best. Let's see what you guys are saying. Movie fan. So, hey, Steve. Jason Atkinson from Facebook. Hey, man. Are you going to start filming soon? Not soon. We were talking about that earlier. We're still crowdfunding. Our campaign went in demand, so we have potential to raise a lot more funds. So we made an official announcement last Friday on the show that we're going to actually start filming in March. We're going to actually do beginning of March next year. That's when we're slated to start production, so I can make sure we give you guys exactly what I want. Exactly what I want. But let's hope that Fede Alvarez is going to give us something like that too. We'll see. Let's see if any of you guys had any other suggestions. His Evil Dead remake was really good. Okay, I want to hear something other than the Evil Dead though. Yeah, Don't Breathe was okay. I don't know. A lot of people love Don't Breathe, and I did. I was kind of like, yeah, it was okay. It was okay. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I thought there was potential for better, though. I'll say that. I just follow a new what? TCM. A new. It's like a new website. A new TCM account. It has the most exclusive, never behind the scenes from the original movie. Oh, cool. Yeah, July is about over. Doubt it's coming this month. Yeah, probably not. We got another week of July and then it's done. So another week, Comic-Con at home. No, we get The Girl in the Spider Web. So that's a Fede Alvarez movie you suggest me seeing. Is it? Here's another. Does he have anything that kind of feels Texas Chainsaw Massacre ish? Not saying it has to be anything exactly like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but if it has a bit of a Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibe, that's a bonus. But The Girl in the Spider Web. Yeah, I'll definitely. Okay, I'll check that movie out then. I'm gonna remember that movie. I'm gonna check that one out. I just need to know whether I think Fede is the right guy behind this movie or not. So far he's really just been a PR guy. That's really all he's been good for. He's been selling this movie to people. His name, he's like a poster boy, basically. He's been a poster boy. Let's hope that changes. Or somebody is changing this film. But I find it weird that Fede Alvarez would allow his name to be on the film if it's a giant turd. Unless he's just okay with, hey, you win some, you lose some. And the fact is, I did actually have a hand in writing the story. What if he's an honest guy? Good on him for that too. And just willing to accept a piece of crap. But the fact that, I think if they would have announced it in July, they would have been announcing a January release, or maybe late fall. But are those more of his films? El Canudo. I'll check them all out. I'll check them all out. What was I saying again? Yeah, with Fede Alvarez. I don't know. I've seen it in Hollywood so many times. I've seen writers get taken off a film after it's had. Hit my mic there. I've seen bigger name people get taken off the writing credits after a film has had bad test screenings. So this is kind of the opposite. It's had bad test screenings, and yet he put his name on it. They put his name on it. He might have not have done it himself, but it's been on there for about 2 weeks now, and nobody's taking it off, unless he really didn't see it. Unless he's really not checking his IMDb and seeing that credit on there. It's possible. I mean, sometimes I go a couple weeks without checking my IMDb too. I don't know, but I'm a small player. I don't even have IMDb Pro. I don't even have my picture up there. So, okay, Christian says that looks like TCM. I don't know. I didn't think Don't Breathe was in demand for a sequel. I can see it happening. It's in demand. If there's potential for us, you know what, Jared? If there's potential for a sequel after, unless the book is totally closed and the movie is successful, they're going to make a sequel. That's just the way it is, you know. I didn't think Halloween 2018 was that in demand for a sequel either, because I mean, it pretty much looked like they killed Michael. They killed the Shape. He's burned to death, you know. But because it made so much money, of course, we'll find a way. Oh, the firefighters came and saved Mike. Right? We know that. We saw that in the trailer. Because at the end of the day, we want to make some of this. They want to make some of this, whether it really screams sequel or not, they'll do it. They'll do it if it's successful. I don't know. We'll see, guys. We'll see. I hope that we'll be talking about the release date and stuff soon. But if not, maybe that's a good sign. Like I said, I would have thought if they're going to announce a release date by the end of August, I think they'll announce it being January. But once you get into September, then they've got to be saying we're pushing it a year. By that point, I would think somebody would come out and say we're going to push it about a year. We're going to maybe try to release it in the fall of 2022, something along those lines. And that means they're going to do reshoots. They're going to do reshoots and hopefully try to make a good movie. I really hope they're going to try to make a movie. I really hope that I hope they don't just dump it in January. But man, I think they got to reshoot a lot. But if that Toe Hill footage is good, if the Toe Hill brothers footage is good, we might have something. Because again, they got fired. Or did they really get fired, or they left for creative differences? Whatever, something like that. But that's what the studio. The studio gets in and says, "You're not making the film we wanted. This is not following the Halloween 2018 formula. You're fired." But they probably Sally doesn't belong in this. I don't know. I would have been like that if Sally is in this film. She's probably gonna maybe she's gonna commit suicide or something. I don't know. I would think Sally would be dead by this time period. Anyways, but. I would have thought that she would have wound up in a mental hospital and probably had a pretty sad rest of her life after that experience. But whatever, man. I really hope we see a different movie than what we heard from Mr. H. I'll say that much. I really hope we do. Man, I hope we do. Anyways, guys, I've rambled on long enough. I'll see whatever else you guys are saying in here. Behind the Fiends, John says somehow Michael has magic because the more he kills, he gets stronger. That's what they've really made out Halloween Kills. Man, I'm interested. I'll be talking about Halloween Kills when I see that. I don't know if I told you guys, I wasn't a big fan of that trailer. I know a lot of people are. I'm not. I feel like we're not really getting Michael. It didn't feel like Michael Myers. I get it. He's supposed to have a lot of kills in this film. I think Michael Myers can have a lot of kills, but how you do the kills. And I felt like this showed stuff very graphic. It showed that this was going to be a very graphic Michael Myers, very Jason Voorhees-esque. And I don't know. My excitement went down for it after that. I was liking the other two trailers. It didn't show quite as much. Now I feel like I've seen too much. I don't know. I'm hoping it's not too over the top. Again, I don't think it's the amount of kills. I think it's how you show the kills with Michael Myers, how you show Michael Myers to begin with. I want to see him more a little bit in the shadows and stuff too. Where Is he there? Is he not there? All that kind of stuff. I want to get that from him. I just feel like he's right out in the open. I don't know. I think I talked briefly about it with Dave McRae when he was on the show too. I can't remember if we touched on that or not. I think we did touched on it briefly, but it was already a long enough stream as it was. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm still kind of excited for Halloween Kills. I'm skeptical. There better be some suspense in it, man. I need some suspense. I'm just dying for a good movie that's got some good suspense in it, guys. I really am dying for it. Give me something with suspense. Just a little bit. I never really got into the Scream series. You know what? Neither did I. I liked the first one. I just liked it, though. I didn't really love it. I liked it. It was okay. I didn't like the second one, and then I didn't bother seeing any more after that because I felt like I've seen everything I needed to see. I really do. But people love the Scream movies. Everybody's excited for Scream 5 or whatever now. I don't care. Seeing them all though. There you go. I've only seen the first two. So yeah, I'm that kind of a movie watcher. If something's lost its appeal for me, I don't bother going to see more. I know I might miss out on some good movies. Who knows? But once I kind of feel like the magic is gone, and I just don't bother seeing them unless I was a really big fan. Like with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, obviously I'm a really big fan of the original, so obviously I've seen all of them in the series. Same with Halloween. I've seen all of them. Some of them just one-time views. But I've because I'm that big of a fan, I'm gonna go see them all. I'll see them all. It should have ended with the 2000. Yeah, I don't know. Again, even I didn't even like the 2018 one that much myself, John. But again, it's again, where is the suspense in these movies? I just is missing that, and there's some poor characters, and I don't know. Weird humor that I didn't care for. We have a Child's Play and an Alien TV series coming as well. Well, how about that? Maybe they'll be good. Again, I like Child's Play, but again, beyond the first two, in fact, I didn't even need the second one. I do like the second one, but do I need it? Do I really need it? Didn't need it, but again, I can still say I like it, though. At least I can say I liked it. It had some suspenseful moments in it. At least, it was much gorier than the first one, but anyways, guys, I think I've yapped on long enough. It's been wonderful chatting with you guys. If I do a show next week, again, I'm going camping next week, so I may or may not do a show next week. We'll see. If I do, it'll be Friday, maybe Saturday. We'll see. I don't like to do the show on Saturdays. I don't typically like to do weekends, but I have done it before. And I think I've had success on the weekends before. So it's possible. And we'll see if I can get Michael from Halloween Evil Lives on the channel then as well. It's possible. We'll make it happen. I need to get more guests on the show. I'm probably going to get some of you guys in the chat on the show one day. Hey, maybe that should be a new for the campaign. Be a guest on my show. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, you guys have yourselves a wonderful evening. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Please do keep sharing the Sawyer Massacre Indiegogo campaign, and if you can throw a couple bucks in here and there, that's awesome. That's greatly appreciated. We do appreciate the support. We're going for at least our first stretch goal. I'd like to hit all our stretch goals if we can, but we got time though. We got like 6 months 6 months it's going to be up there for. I know I got to push it a little harder. I know I've been busy the last week. Again, I was preparing all the audio for Disorder, which you guys saw the teaser for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you guys will look forward to that. Again, we might put it in the festival circuit, so we might not release it right away, but it's more or less, it's pretty close to being finished. So we will have a finished product soon, and then we'll be analyzing on what to do with it. Do we go festivals? Do we release it on YouTube? Do we try some streaming platform? If any, take a 10-minute short. I don't know. I'll talk to people. We'll see. But yeah, you guys have yourselves a wonderful night, and we'll see you guys next week, and enjoy the weekend ahead. You guys, oh, I've lost it now. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful night.